Okay, folks. Today I thought to myself, to spice things a little bit up, we could, instead of exploring more audio ins on synthesizers, except that we could build a combinator from scratch. To finish, first we take an instrument that just gives us sound to check up on our combinator patch, and we need a combinator dragging whilst holding shift so it doesn't get connected to a new mix channel, and we put the output in here and connect it back to the NNXT. And I need something to check what I do here. Oh. But why? Why does it do that? Okay. We reroute this, the correlation by reason this is just for checking if everything is fine and to show you the effect of our combinator. What we need for my combinator: 2 instances of an equalizer you like. I will take that Reason Channel EQ for that. I could totally use the M class for this. Maybe I should use it. No. You could totally use any equalizer you like. I dragged it in whilst holding shift. What we do now, we open the combinator mixer and take our 2 device, drop it like this, and drop the right one in the second one. And now we just make the same thing here. So we basically got now an EQ for each side of our signal. What we do now is activate the high pass and raise this to right about 30 on both. It has to be the exact same frequency, otherwise it could get messy with the phase. And to make it a little bit simpler, we should take this out so we get a mono signal in. And as you hear, it's evenly distributed up on both channels, even if even if we only got one cable connected here. What I will do next is we link each section here, so the both low frequency sections here. Now we route both our low frequencies onto this control 1 here. So we right click and we map this to control 1 and also this to control 1. The same goes with the decibel of the low mids. We take control 2 for this. Same thing here. The high mids go on control 3. And the high filter on both sections go to control 4. Now we could open our editor. We have to choose channel EQ2 here. And what we need to do is switch these over so that they're inversed. So if we close the editor and raise control 1, our first equalizer should raise and our second equalizer should decrease the level on the low filter, on the low frequencies, and we see it works. The second should do it also, the third should do it also, and our fourth, our high frequencies should do the same. What we could do now is open the editor and go to Configure. And now we have the option to delete these switches because we don't need them right now. And we also could delete the pitch and the mod wheel just by selecting it with the mouse and press delete. What we need now is a second row of control switches. So we get our knob here and another one here. We fix how it looks later, but we just need four more controls. What we do now is we hook up the hertz to the controls 5 to 8, just like we did with controls 1 to 4. So we take this control 5, we take this to control 5, this to control 6, this to control 6, and so on. We have to close the configure section for once. These controls stay the same because if we would change them around like we did with control 1 to 4, you would swap high and low frequencies, and that's not very good because you could introduce a lot phasing into that. So these stay the same, and we name them. So we got our low filter dB. Same goes for our low filter hertz. Okay, so let's try it out. We close the editor, we let the devices be open, so we see if everything matches what we want. So, for example, if I play a sound and I want to shift it around in the stereo field, I could say I want the lows to be on the right side. Okay, I messed up. We switched the false ones around here, but that's no problem. We could just... Where's... Oh. Here. We could just flip them around and everything should be fine. But we need to flip the other ones around, so we take them and switch their polarity for this patch. We could also easily define a space where it should work, so we don't get the full effect of it. But for demonstration purposes, I will settle down with that. Okay. If I want to shift the sound to the right side, we introduce more volume. No. We introduce more volume on the frequency range we want to push a bit. And on the second channel, the sound in this case if I go to the right side, we see our right equalizer go up and our left equalizer go down. So the volume will be increased on the right channel and the volume on the left channel will be decreased. This gives us a shift in panorama. As we see here, if I play a note, you see the sound wandering around. Maybe the effect is a little bit too hard, so if you want smaller increments on this dial here, you could also incorporate that, but be aware that the minimum and the maximum should be the same on both EQs, so you don't get something messy here. Okay. If I raise any one of these knobs here, everything should wander to the right side, and if I turn them down all the way, everything should wander to the left side. But we also could, for instance, we could say we have a mono piano, for instance, and we want to give a little bit of fake spread like it normally would when you play the low notes. It's a little more to the right side and the high notes are a little more to the right side. We could also do that. So we could say the low frequencies go a little bit on the left. The low mid frequencies also, but just a tiny bit. The high mids go a tiny bit to the right side, and the high frequencies go to the right side a little bit more. So if I play now, maybe we should up this a bit. So we get a little bit of that stereo spread we would typically have with the piano, but we get this from only a mono recording. We also could say something like this. And we also could incorporate some differences in where our filter sits here. Oh, there's one thing the other way around, I see. So somewhere we got a failure. Oh, it is not connected. Okay, so somehow we forgot about this. So we totally could make very spread sounds with this, but I typically use this in a very subtle way to give some instruments a little bit more space for each other. So, for instance, if I have a guitar and a piano and they both interfere in some frequency range, I easily could pick out the same frequency and could say guitar on the left and piano on the right, but just in this particular frequency range where it crashes. We could design our patch like we want to, so we could easily change this to faders or other knobs, big knobs, short knobs, as you like. And you also could make it a little bit more unique by using the basic colors or even a new backdrop in, if you don't mind playing around with Photoshop or something else. We also could make our panel bigger if we need that for which reasons ever. That's all for today. Just remind yourself, it is totally fine if you use these EQs, but you really could get ham with this and take whatever EQ you want to. This is just a quick example how it is cabled and how it is set up. If you have lots of knobs, 16 or even 32, it's mostly better to name them beforehand, because if you now go to map, you see there are the new set names, so it's easier to find for you to arrange yourself in there. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please leave a like and a comment down below. Make sure to subscribe and see you next time. Bye.